I just erroneously assumed that all these patients that had been building up all this goodwill would just come with me. But because I left, my secretary left, my PTA left, my PT left, they all went different directions. The majority of my patients went with the PT who I had trained, and I was flabbergasted, and I was 5 minutes down the road, and at least 25% of the patients stayed at the clinic that I was at, even though it was a total scab staff. What are you guys, loyal to the building? Literally, no one is there. No, my script says this address on it. Well, that's just a suggestion. You don't have to go there. So I had no choice but to really ramp up. And that's what I always tell people. When you're starting a business or when you're trying to feed your family, there's nothing like risk that will just make you hustle.
Yeah.
Because we had just had our third kid. My wife was not going back to work. So I thought, I'm going to try to sell my Edge tool online. And at the time, it was called the Fasciolator. And because back then, I believe you could break up fascia. In developing the manualtherapist.com was to drive people back to the site. Because I realized that it was like this kind of like this one-time purchase, right? Like a hammer. You don't go back to hammer.com because once you realize how to use the hammer, there's no reason to go back. Over the years, leading up to my residency, my fellowship, and everything, I'd taken probably between 50 and 70 Con Ed courses. I developed this what eventually became the eclectic approach